Hi, my name is... How you started playing basketball?
Oh, how I started playing basketball. So my family is a big basketball family. My mom and my dad played growing up. So my mom played at Snow College, and then she went on to Kennesaw State. Her and my dad both played at Snow College, and then to Kennesaw State, which is funny. I actually played at Snow College, but so they went to Kennesaw State, and they had me at Kennesaw State. And then my dad, he quit playing, and my mom went on to finish off at UVU. So just ever since I could walk, I've been playing basketball. I mean, I was with my mom while she was playing at UVU, and then just grew up playing it. So I started playing it around 4, and I've just loved it ever since.
How's your basketball in high school basketball?
How was high school basketball? So for me, high school basketball was a different experience, I guess, than most. So I had, growing up, I grew up in a small town called Heber, so I went to a high school called Wasatch, and I went there all until my freshman year, and then 2 weeks into my freshman year, we moved, and so I ended up going to a place called Maple Mountain, and at the time, they weren't really using me as a big guy. I was the biggest guy in our conference, and I was running around shooting threes and setting screens, and I mean, granted, it might have helped me to shoot some threes in my game now, but looking back on it then, I was a post, so I actually transferred from Maple Mountain to the rival Springville, because the year before I transferred, they had just taken a big football dude, played him at center, and he won MVP, and they wrote us back to a state title. So I played there. I transferred to Springville my end of my sophomore year after the season. My junior year, I had to sit out, and I played JV my whole junior year because the rule was I couldn't play varsity for a year. So I had to sit out my junior year, and we were pretty bad. Our JV team was like 500, and then our varsity team was like they weren't very good either. I don't even think we had double-digit wins. And so we had that, and then the next year we actually completely 180. We had a complete 180. We ended up going 23-5, which is still a school record, and then we won state, and I won the 5A state MVP and the tournament MVP. So it was a big year for us. So high school basketball for me was really cool. It was a really fun experience.
Why you choose Idaho State College?
Oh, Idaho State. I actually didn't have any other offers coming out of high school, and I wanted to commit early. I was basically just, I don't want to say pressured because I didn't want to go to Idaho State, and I did like Idaho State, but it was like everyone was saying, you might not have this offer in a few months, you better take it, you got to take it. So I took the offer, and it was my only offer coming out of high school, and so that's why I went there. But I loved Idaho State. I mean, the only thing that really was kind of an issue for me was just offense, I guess. I didn't really love it. But other than that, I mean, Idaho State was a great school. I mean, I really liked the coaches. They played a big part in why I committed there. My guy, Joe White, Coach White, he was really cool. I really liked him. He was the one who recruited me there. And then we had some other guys on the staff that are also really cool. And then Coach Lundy also. So yeah, the biggest reason was because they took a chance on me. And I really appreciated them for that. So I chose to go there.
Why you transferred to Snow College in Fullerton?
I transferred to Snow because coming out of Idaho State in the portal, I had a lot of D2s calling my phone, and NAIs and D3s. And the only D1 I had was actually BYU that wanted me to go walk on. So BYU had called and said, come walk on for us, you'll get a full-ride NIL scholarship, which I guess they give all their athletes, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. So they wanted me to go walk on, but I was kind of a D1 or bust guy, I guess, growing up in college. One of the reasons I transferred from Maple Mountain was because they told me I was too slow to go D1. I wasn't big enough. I was undersized 5 man. And so I was kind of D1 or bust guy. So I chose to go to Snow College because it's a Juco. And if I wanted, in my eyes, I felt like if I wanted to go back D1, Juco was the best route for me. And then also it's close to home, so I knew I didn't want to be in the cold if I went back D1, so I figured I'd give my mom a year of close to home so she could come to my games. And then Coach May and Coach Kitchen, the coaches over at Snow right now, they're doing an amazing job. They actually just finished the season #1 in the country. They made the Juco National Tournament. They had the Juco Player of the Year, all that stuff. So they're doing big things over there. But the head coach of Snow at the time had pulled me on my visit and then retired 3 days later. And so kind of iffy on snow. But then Coach May came in, and I really liked Coach May and Coach Kitchen and what they were going to bring in. They came from BYU, and so I really liked that. Everything they had in place, they really ran it like a D1 program in my eyes. And so, yeah, that's why I chose snow. And then coming out of snow, I had a couple offers. I had Utah Tech. I had Nicholls State. I had interest from like Cal Poly, Montana State. Who else called me? That's all I can remember for now. And then Fullerton. And so I decided to go to Fullerton because I went on my visit out here, and it was the first visit I took actually. And I met Coach DT and Coach Walk and Coach Ham and Mike Beater at the time. And I just love the coaching staff out here. I really like the philosophy on everything. I liked how they're running their program. They just got done going to the tournament 2 years ago, and then they barely lost in the championship game just the year before I got there. And so, I thought it was a great fit for me, and I wanted to be out of the cold, so California was perfect. So yeah, that's why I chose to go to Fullerton and snow.
How's experience playing NCAA?
Well, I had a good experience playing NCAA. My first couple of years, I didn't get as much playing time as I would have liked to. My freshman year, I got I think 7 minutes a game, and then I went to 11 minutes a game. Which, obviously, if anyone's saying that's enough for them, then they probably don't love basketball as much as they say they do. Everyone wants more minutes. So I had kind of a rough experience because I really was just fighting for minutes my whole career until this last year. So at the end of my first year of Fullerton, in my exit meeting, the coaches pulled me in. And long story short, in the nicest way possible, they basically said, get in shape or get out. And so I lost 30 pounds over the summer. And then I came in, and I came in for the summer I tore my deltoid ligament in my ankle. And so I was out the whole summer rehabbing, and I'd still lost the weight. So I was feeling pretty confident when I came back off the injury. And so, then we come back, and I had a good game against GCU. And then from then on, I just played a lot this year. So this final year really it's been a great experience for me. I really enjoyed it. And I just love being able to travel the country and going and playing basketball and seeing places that I would never really have gotten to see otherwise. And making memories with my brothers on the court, and then off the court, team meals, stuff like that. Hanging out in each other's hotel rooms, just stuff like that. So it's been a great experience for me. I really enjoyed it. First experience playing in NCAA and Juco, that's a good question. So I'm not gonna lie, I had a different Juco year because I had all the COVID kids coming back. So when we played against teams like Slick, who had everyone on their team was a D1 transfer, we were really just playing against D1 teams whenever we play a ranked opponent in Juco my year. But I would say the biggest difference between a real unranked Juco program versus a D1 program is really just IQ, and then I don't even want to say that. I guess size. I guess it's a little smaller in Juco than it is in D1. Size and strength wise, just because some teams don't have the money for strength programs like they do in Division 1. But Juco is different because I feel like Juco before the D1 or before the COVID year, it was really just a way for kids to get it in, get their grades up and get out, or kids that so I feel or kids that just weren't ready for D1 yet, and then went Juco and then got ready, So I feel the biggest difference between playing in Juco and NCAA is probably the size and the speed of the game, especially from the Big West to where I was playing, because we were really, at my Juco, we were a set team, slow pace. We got up a transitional line, actually, I take that back, but I would just say guys are a lot faster, stronger, bigger in the NCAA than the Division 1, and I don't want to say more athletic because there are some freaky athletic dudes in Juco. Some hidden gems for real in Juco. But yeah, probably that. The travel. The travel's way different. You take a bus everywhere instead of a plane. Let's see what else is different. The Juco I went to had more of a high school vibe to it. So like in a small town, like there's only 3,500 people in Ephraim, Utah, and so everyone knows everyone. Everyone's coming to the games on Friday nights, and it was just good vibes. Whereas like in Fullerton, we're right in the middle of Orange County. Everyone's got everything going on around them. Like we're in California, there's 3 million people in Orange County alone, so it's different. I guess there's just a lot more support in Juco too. But yeah, about that.
Toughest opponent player in NCAA?
My freshman year, my first game, we played Jalen Williams on the Thunder. And it was my first ever game. We played Santa Clara, and our big man, starting big man, had gotten in foul trouble, and I actually played 19 minutes that game. And I think I had 6 points, 4 rebounds, and like a block or 2. I actually had a decent game that game, but I think he gave us like 17 or like 23 or something. He gave us like something crazy, and it was just so effortless. Like, I don't know. He was really tough. Probably him, I'll say for sure. Big man wise, was the toughest big man I've played though. I'll give you big man Zuco. I'll go big fella from UCLA, Mara, the 7'2" kid. He was tough to guard, really tough to guard this year. I'll say he's the toughest big guy I ever had to guard in the NCAA.
Who in Fullerton teammate you learn the most?
I would say a guy last year named Vincent Lee. He was another big guy. He was very, very good to learn from. I learned a lot from Lee for sure. I would say Vincent Lee.
How hard to be student and athlete?
Pretty hard because you got a lot on your plate. Everyone just thinks like it's easy. You just go and play the sport that you love, and then you get to go to class and call it good. But I mean, it's more than that. I think it's hard because you got to balance the schedule of, you got class at 8:30, class at 9:45 right after that, and then you got weights at 11:30, and then you got practice right after weights. So you're from weights and practice from like 11:30 to like 4:30, and then you go from 4:30. Some guys have afternoon classes. They go from like 5 to 6:40 or 5 to what do they go to? They're like 2 hour and 45-minute classes, and one's like 7 to 9:45, and the one's 4 to 6:45. I think those are 2 time blocks. So some guys have that. And then on top of that, you might have study hall sometime during the day. So let's say you have it right after practice. You don't have a night class, like you have practice. You get done at 4, study hall 5:30 to 6:30, and then you got to get dinner in, and then you got to find time to do homework and all that. You got to find time for studying. You got to find time for like yourself. You got to find time to eat during the day. So it's really hard. It's really time consuming, and it teaches you a lot. It teaches you how to manage yourself, manage your schedule. But I would say it's definitely not easy, but it's very worth it. It's very rewarding. So, yeah.
Why you choose jersey number 12?
My jersey number, I've always been 32 because that's my mom was, and so I like 32. And then my senior year of high school, but they didn't have 32 in my size. I didn't get to choose just whatever they had sizes for, so I got number 24. And so when I committed to Fullerton, Mike, he was already here, he had 32. And then Kata had committed before me, so he was 24. And so I just cut 24 in half, and I got 12. And then, I had a pretty good 2 years in 12, so it's my lucky number 12 now. But yeah, it's not a special number until now, I guess. But when I chose it, it was just kind of random.
If you get a chance to be an NBA player, who do you want to face there?
Chance to be an NBA player, who would I want to play for? Or who would I want? Okay. Let's see. I'm from Utah, so I want to say the Jazz, but realistically, I don't know if the Jazz are ever going to win a championship. I love to win, so I probably want to go to the Clippers, play with James Harden or something like that. That'd be cool.
Last question, your starting five right now in NBA?
I'm a big LeBron fan. I'm gonna go LeBron in my 3, Steph in my 2. In my 1. Steph in my 1. We'll go James Harden in my 2. So Steph, Harden, Bron. I want Draymond in my 4. Give me Wemby in my 5.
Thank you for watching.